Alex Ansary here, and in this video I'm going to propose a new idea. And before I get started, I'm going to ask the women to lower their defenses. This is a critical examination of life in our culture the last couple of years, based on behavior that I've seen, changes that I've seen in society, and also the testimony of other men out there that are also seeing a change within our society, within our planet. And we're talking about human sexuality, female sexuality in particular. We're talking about what a lot of us would consider to be a healthy attraction to the opposite sex. Whether it be caused by some sort of intention to affect human fertility, i.e. they put it in the water or something in the air, something to affect fertility in a negative way, or whether it be something changing within our solar system, changing within the sun. I'll talk about that shortly. That could be changing human consciousness in a way, human sexuality and/or in a way, to where there are less babies being born. Maurice Carteret in Coast to Coast talked about what he talks about in his book, Future Sciences, and the solar cycle is regulating human fertility. Maurice Carteret drawing the conclusion between a drop in fertility in previous civilizations that fell, as well as changes in the climate, drought. He mentioned the Aztecs, he mentioned the Mayans, and other mighty civilizations. I believe Rome was another cited example. And his understanding of the solar cycle, and cycles within cycles, in particular ones that regulate fertility. So we bring our attention to this strife within mankind. Yes, some of it artificially induced, mind control, supernatural factors, spiritual warfare, things happening physically, but could there be something taking place biologically in the last couple of years that has allowed this period, at least? It could be cyclical. It could change in a few years. Again, I talk about cycles, not things being linear. So with solar cycles, and each solar cycle being on average about 11 years, 9 to 11 years, energies are changing on the planet quite a bit in that period of time. Things are constantly changing. Things are never constant. And this is a traditional truth of the Eastern world, is that is one of the most cardinal truths. Change is constant. So I am not saying or proposing that this is something that's going to be permanent, something that I am theorizing is taking place, that there is a separating between the masculine and feminine, and negative forces are trying to exploit that divide, because when we're broken up and families are broken up and we're disconnected from our masculine and feminine within, we're more easier to control by them. And this is a period where many are being controlled by them, especially those living in urban environments without love, without ever knowing love. For the first time in their life, genuine love for a man, genuine love for a woman. A lot of men and women today not living in happy societies. In some cases, people are meeting the wrong partners and are not meeting the partners that they should, even though they would like that to happen. And they're trying their hardest. It's almost as if something's working against them. It is if there is something working against them, in addition to other changes taking place potentially in the cosmos. But I can't help but think about Maurice Carteret's research when I think about 2012. And, a lot of people are expecting this instant enlightenment, and on the other side of the coin, the other side of the deception, the other side of the linearist argument that doesn't see the cycles, you have people that were expecting the end on December 21st, 2012, and associating the massive solar cycle, not looking at its influence on human consciousness, but looking at the potential of the solar cycle bringing down the grid on December 21st, 2012. A misinterpretation, a linearist interpretation, a false interpretation of 2012. So many people expecting enlightenment, many people expecting destruction will both say, well, nothing happened in 2012. And the question is, how do we know that nothing happened in 2012? Because in society itself, there seems to be an embedded mind virus that seems to be affecting people's thinking process, affecting their biology, affecting their sexuality in some cases, where it seems as if people are embracing this technological mating, if you will, the mounting and the mounting of us. We being fucked by the robots in the submissive situation with our ass in the air. Humanity being sodomized by the robot industrial complex that is now sweeping our society by storm. With man and woman split, with the evil entities pouring into this planet and feeding upon humanity, I see, again, several things playing out at the same time. Whether it be coordinated, known, or unknown, it's happening at the same time in conjunction with the solar cycle, which does connect us with the other world, which does, I believe, open up portals. There are certain forces that want to come in and play us off against each other. And there are certain things happening physically, like Fukushima, that could be affecting the sex drive. And there could, and I'm just going to touch upon this lightly, reasons why we see some of the more extreme sexual abuse cases in the news. And in some cases, females being involved in certain things that normally we don't associate females with. There may be a root cause factor for that as well, why we see some women acting out. And in addition, just to throw this out there, extreme acts of lust, really about sexual repression, not sexual liberation as some people think. And that includes some people's addictions to sex and whatnot. There's really a repression to our inner need for intimacy and really loving someone for who they are. There's really a repression of that collectively within human sexuality and human society. There's a strong sexual repression of genuine love and love for someone for who they are. There's a bunch of actual dirt and entities trying to use humans as hosts to get what they want actually taking place. There's a lot of people thinking they're in love when they're actually been infected by a dark Cupid love bite. And a lot of love that people think is real is actually simulated and just can all take place in our brain and in our dream realms, which can easily be invaded. You have a car coming. Take a breather for a moment. So, in closing, here are the Alex answers, closing statements. Did something shift in 2012? Is there obviously a mind virus, whether you choose to call it archonic, demonic, or otherwise? Or maybe you can interpret this rise of AI and singularity as the sign of this great coming of great change. It's going to really affect human consciousness in another way. Depending on what side of the fence you're looking at, a lot of us are looking at some similar shit. While they go booga booga with the Muslim stuff to really distract you. Okay, this is actually the second time I've had to go from one camera to another. I think I might take a breather after this, but I do really have some of the best thoughts in the morning, especially out in nature, when I'm not in the grid and I'm off the grid, whether I'm on BLM land or somewhere else. So, I'm speaking here also under the sunlight concerning the sun and 2012 and the solar cycle and the ideas of Maurice Cotterell and the solar cycles, the sun being a regulator of the human population on the earth. When the sun is outputting a certain frequency, there's other ways to explain this. And when a time periods where the sun's poles actually shift or flip, that's one thing that he mentioned in this, cycles within cycles of the sun, something changes within humanity to where fertility goes down. There could be other changes, of course, along with this, weather, drought, lack of water. And then, of course, we see historically what happened to the Mayans and the Aztecs, as well as the Hopi, and many other civilizations. It's possible that what they went through, there's also the descent into the Dark Ages, an extended solar minimum, and I think that we could probably directly See a correlation between reduced population, solar minimum, extended solar minimum, deep solar minimum, and then the period where we're constantly having more and more solar output, more and more babies being born, more and more wars, more and more sunspots, more and more human activity. It's all tied together. And there's something going on, and this could change in a matter of a few years. And maybe it is because it's been a weaker cycle in some respects. But there has been a major drop in female desire for males, and I would definitely say good males. And I definitely could see how this changes. This is cyclical, and there are times where things come back to more normalcy. We are in a energetic period of insanity with people responding to what's going on in certain ways. And I think it is important for humans to be connected and to have normal, healthy desire for each other in a healthy manner without wanting to control each other and without using technology to replace each other. I think there's consequences, emotional, spiritual. There's certain ways that we could damage ourselves knowingly or unknowingly by mating with technology. And that's also something that I want to. It's not just about males and pornography. It's about women and the cell phones. These are two sides of the same coin. Alex Answer here, signing off, commentating on the post-2012 world and the drop in sexual activity and desire for men, using both my own personal life experiences and what I've noticed in the post-2012 period, as well as scores of emails from other male viewers of this video series. Take care. Coming to you from the forests of Southwest Colorado.